I've told you now for 2 days in a row that China... because we believe that there should be accountability for China's mishandling of the virus that went on to destroy economies from New Zealand to New York and has killed people on every country on the planet. Hundreds of thousands of people have died. Australia demanded an inquiry. We demanded accountability, and as a result, China, that knew the virus was getting so out of control in its own country that they banned flights from Wuhan to Beijing, but they let people fly from Wuhan to Brisbane. They let international flights go for days and days while protecting their own country. They knew what was being exported around the world, so therefore we said there should be accountability here. As it was with the wheat crop, as it has been with other exports, the Chinese use bullshit excuses like customs problems to be a reason why Australian products can't be sold in China. On Monday night, we feared it. On Tuesday night, it seemed dead certain. And on Wednesday night, I'm sad to say, a confirmation. Australian coal is going to be put through the same ringer. Local press in China are now reporting openly that there is going to be a ban on Australian coal going into China, as 4 mills will not be processing Australian coking coal. This matters. The consequences to our economy will be huge. But as always, as I've said to you through the whole thing, Australia stood up for our values. Look for those who are the billionaires and the political class and the media class, the academic class, who have sold out for their 50 pieces of silver when it comes to China, who've sold out their little bit of freedom, one check at a time, because those will be the people who will be front of the queue to say, we should manage this relationship, which is code for shut up. Well, the quiet Australian will not shut up on this and is pleased that we have a Prime Minister in Scott Morrison and a government around him who will not be bullied by China. There must be accountability. And accountability doesn't mean marching into the palace in Beijing with a pair of handcuffs. It's about knowing what happened. That's all we demand out of this process. We'll wait and we'll see what happens. But an example of the very people who have sold out the freedoms of this country for the Chinese dollar, chief amongst them, the university sector. The university sector today has been out and bitching and moaning in Canberra because the Morrison government wants to tear up deals that state organisations, and universities are part of state government organisations, even though they've got a lot of federal funding, that go off and do deals with foreign countries that don't play the same way that we do. Now, foreign investment is a good and important part of every economy. Over-investment with China is dangerous because, as we have seen when it comes to academic freedom, when China sets up the Confucius Institute, but the same university is not able to set up one to celebrate Western civilisation, then we've lost the plot. In a free country where free taxpayers work hard and that money is going to their kids' and grandkids' education, for it to be poisoned by what the Chinese want them to learn is something that I won't cop. But this Sheila popped up in Canberra. She's, of course, the boss of the chief university groups in the country, and she has said that regulatory boundaries must absolutely protect security, but they must also enable economic and societal growth. What bullshit is that? You sell that to China and it's societal growth? This bill is like a fishing expedition. National security threats are a lot like COVID. This bill is an elimination strategy. Yes, Dale, it is. And yes, we should. For too long, we have seen an Australian education system that has lowered the bar for entry. It used to be you had to be this smart to enter. Not this rich, but this smart to enter. But then, because the Australian taxpayer, you and I, are stupid enough to pay for every warm body up front, they keep lowering the bar. Until some courses at some universities, like Macquarie University in Sydney, have 69% of all of the people in their first year who didn't qualify for the bare basics to get into their courses. The rest of the room is filled by those that will pay. Those that will pay most often come from China, in part because our education system clearly is better, but also because if China wants to show its displeasure with Australia, as it is with coal, it would with tourists, as it did with barley, it wanted to with students. So in the same way that all of our industries need to find markets that are all over the world, not just one in China, Our universities have to do the same. They also have to understand that the only way to grow what they do is to grow the student base that is smart enough to attend. But instead, there's a lot of university degrees that should only take about 18 months, but instead get dragged out over 3 or 4 years, all of which we pay for, and an astonishing $50 billion, otherwise known as 2/3 of the budget deficit that the China virus brought upon us by COVID-19, is the amount of money that is owed to the Australian taxpayer by university students who never earned more than $50,000 to start paying it back. Australia, we have a problem with our higher education system. Our standards fall and they are doing the beck and call of China. I do not believe when the bosses of the universities are saying to a government that says, you know what, no more side deals with a foreign power, that apparently society might be damaged by the people who are willing to sell our society out all day, every day.